Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Anastasia Stefanidou, and with me here to shine some light on the greyest day of the year, Blue Monday, is Amber Cowburn. From Working Well, consultant and trainer, mental health first aid instructor. Hello, Amber.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So, Amber, to begin with, we met at the Women in Finance Conference 2019 in London, and I found your speech illuminating. Tell us a little bit more about you and why is that so important for you?
Absolutely. So I run Working Well, which is my business that does consultancy and training for mental health in workplaces. I've worked in mental health now for about 10 years, and I basically worked in mental health policy. I've worked as a trainer, I've worked with young people, and I'm just so passionate about that we kind of proactively promote well-being and good mental health, and whether that's in workplaces or with young people, that we bring everyone along on that journey. So that's kind of what my business aims to do. And I'm also a trustee of a charity, and I train with mental health first aid. So lots of different hats, but all of it is about promoting good mental health.
Perfect, thank you. Do you know why do they call it Blue Monday?
Yeah, so statistically, it's the greyest day of the year for a number of reasons. So it's been worked out that statistically it'd be the toughest day for well-being because it's basically the third Monday in January. So financially, it's coming on for payday, but it's still quite a way away. People might have overspent at Christmas. People might have overeaten at Christmas. A lot of people set resolutions and might have dropped them by the third week of January, unfortunately. And then also the weather in January can be really grey as well. So all of that's been added together and suggested that it's Blue Monday because it's the worst day for well-being. Whether or not that's true is up to each person. But I think it's fair to say that January can be quite challenging.
Thank you. In addition to that, we know that it's a very busy period for accountants. So what does data tell us about how they feel at this time of the year and why?
I think that's so true. Whenever it's a busy period, you add stress, you add in time limits, people feel that stress level go up. So it being a busy period for accountants, plus the pressures of January, is going to be really tough. Data recently has shown us that finance and accountancy industries have the highest level of mental illness related absence. So we are looking at an industry that is high stress, that has a lot of mental illness related absence, and needs to focus more on being mental health aware, definitely.
The accountancy profession is very well known for its long hours. Yeah. Is this linked to stress, and how?
Yeah, it definitely is linked. If you work long hours, it's likely that you get very tired, you might be more stressed. It also leaves less time for time with family, hobbies, downtime, and that's obviously important for your well-being. But a long hours job doesn't mean large amounts of stress and unhappiness, because also, if you find the job fulfilling or if you work with good people, they are all really important factors in your well-being. So the hours in themselves are not the only factor, but long hours are going to increase stress, yeah.
That's a really good answer, and linking to my next question, which is on well-being. Do we know if well-being is linked to performance?
Yeah, it definitely is. When we look about well-being, if you think of it as you feeling your best, or you feeling a good version of yourself, or you feeling healthy, then all of those things are vital for you being able to turn up to work and perform and bring kind of good energy and have ideas and be efficient. When we are feeling quite low, we tend to procrastinate more, we tend to doubt ourselves more, we worry more. So I think the two are really, really interlinked. That doesn't mean to say that stress is always a bad thing, because a small amount of stress is actually really healthy. It helps you get something done. It might stop you procrastinating if you've got a deadline. And some of us sit very comfortably with stress, like stress is a healthy thing for us. But it's about when that becomes too much, and our performance will suffer if we feel like we're too stressed and our well-being is taking a hit.
Thank you. For all of the employers watching us right now, what are the measures and initiatives that you would suggest would be good adopting?
I think the first thing would be mental health awareness training. I would say start with your managers and get them some training, because I genuinely think a lot of people feel kind of worried about the area of employee mental health, and a lot of that is because they just don't know. So genuinely, in that sense, knowledge is power there. If you get some training in, I think the whole approach changes, and you equip people to feel kind of positive about mental health and wellbeing and not worried. So that would be my first thing. And my second thing would be ask your staff. So really often we kind of come up with ideas and think that would be brilliant, my staff will love that, and then we're slightly surprised when it doesn't really work or people still seem quite stressed. And I would say you need to ask those staff, how are you feeling, what can we do to help, and then take what's possible, because obviously people might suggest things that you definitely can't do, but I think it's really empowering for staff to be asked, and then you can go from there.
Thank you. But not all of us have access to external help. Are there any ways that we can support our own mental health?
Yes, definitely. So I think looking after your own well-being and your mental health starts with you anyway. And there's so many simple things you can do. If you focus on just getting the basics right first, so rather than thinking, well-being is some big elusive thing that you've got to aim for, just thinking about, are you getting enough sleep? Is the food you're eating fueling you? Is it giving you energy? Are they the right choices for you? And that's not about being on a diet or limiting calories. It's just thinking about, is that food making you feel energetic? Is it doing what you need it to do? And then movement as well, getting outside, fresh air, getting steps in. Those things are all really important for your overall well-being, and having a break. And then just small acts of self-care. Self-care can be as simple as listening to a podcast on the way to work, or buying yourself that coffee that you were fancying. They are small things that is just some kindness to yourself, rather than a punishing, I've got so much to do and I'm not doing well at this. That self-talk is really important. And also with the support, I totally agree, not everyone can access medical support, but if you are struggling and you feel like you need help or someone to talk to, there's so much help online, and there's phone lines and text lines in every country. And I would really encourage you to find someone to talk to if you do feel like you're struggling. There is help available.
Thank you. One last question.
Yeah.
Give us a couple of tips for surviving today, Blue Monday.
So I would say talk to a friend or a loved one. Don't make too big a deal of it, because if you think, oh, it's going to be an awful day, then it might be, and you'll probably be fine. And for me, a hot drink is really important on a grey day. It's a hot drink and warming myself up, and probably a bit of caffeine. And if you are feeling low, or it is a tough day for you, then please do talk to someone about it, because talking about kind of your well-being and your mental health is the first step, and it's really, really important.
Thank you very much, Amber. Everything was very insightful today. Thanks everybody for watching this video. Just a reminder that CIMA members or students, you have access to the CIMA Benevolent Fund, which was established to support management accountants who are in need of help. You can find more online at our website, www.cimaglobal.com. Thank you very much, and goodbye.